look at this. Come on, look at it. Airborne Max and shit, come on. Alright guys, Big E here. Going to tell you about a new reality show called Battle Camp. All 10 episodes are on Netflix. And it's a reality show where there's 3 teams. It starts from every Netflix show you can think of. There are 3 teams. Team Eagle is red team. Team Bear is blue team. Team Bears are yellow. And we have a description of what it is. It is a physical challenge reality show where they face punishments and strategizing to avoid a spinning wheel. And if your name is on there, you have a chance to be eliminated and replaced by someone else. They are all fighting for 250k, and the host is Taylor Lawn. This is the teams for episode 1. For red team, Eagles. We got Tony from Mall Season 2. We got Lorenzo from Squid Game The Challenge. We got Georgia from Love is Blind and Perfect Match. We got Lexi from The Ultimatum Queer Love. We got blue team, Bears. We got Gaio, or Gio, I don't know how you pronounce it, from Selling the OC. We got Shoebum, the GOAT, from Circle Season 1 and 5. We got Avery from The Mole Season 1. We got QT from the Circle Season 2. Circle Season 6. And then now we've got the yellow team, Wolves. We've got Trey from Squid Game The Challenge. Gabby from Chia Season 2. We got Arena from Love is Blind. And Luis from Too Hot to Handle Season 5. Entering the camp, they got their first challenge. And it's a relay, it's a water relay. Swim across the lake, each member need to take a different challenge and grab a flag. There's balance, where they have to cross a dock without falling into water. Strength, pulling up a rope, which there's a dumbbell, obviously, to make it hard to get the flag. We've got intelligence, where there is 3 different math equations, and the first person who gets there can choose difficulty for the other 2 teams. When they get it right, they unlock a key for the kayak, and lastly is speed. But they have to paddle to a tower, they have to jump off it and grab the flag. Then they have to race to the shore with a nice swim. Then get all the flags up to win immunity from elimination. Last place, one of their teams goes home. The 3 who is starting for the balance is Avery for the Bears, Irina for the Wolves, Georgia for the Eagles. For strength, we got Shoebalm for Bears, Gabby for Wolves, Tony for Eagles. Next up is intelligence, which I am not that. So lucky I'm not doing this part. But we've got QT for Bears, Trey for Wolves, Lexi for Eagles, and for speed we got Gaio for Bears, Luis from Wolves, Lorenzo from Eagles, and it's off. In the lead is Georgia, and in the back is Irina from Team Wolves. Eagles are in the lead with now Tony at the strength task, and now all the teams matched up. They're all doing the strength task. Even though Tony is in the lead, the Wolves are in second place because of Gabby. And now Lexi is doing the math question. She chooses all the difficulty. Obviously, Lexi goes for the easy one for the Eagles, mid for the Bears, and hard for Wolves. And for Lexi, she gets it done relatively easy-ish. Trey, aka for Wolves, math quiz, bruv. He's a god. And he just does it in instant. Also, Bears also do it a little bit behind. Everyone's from behind. But Lexi drops one of the flags in the water without knowing, and Lorenzo is off, going kayak. Goes to the tower, jumps off, is already in the lead. Maybe 20-30 seconds in the lead, that's pretty good. And then Wolves and Bears are catching up. And we find out that Lorenzo only has 3. And he is, well, he can't do anything. He just sits down, watches Luis pulls all the flags up, and now Luis wins it for the Wolves. Meaning Eagles is then heading to elimination, where we find out Lexi dropped it, and then I'll get more info after, because there is drama brewing. Everyone arrives at camp. There's 4 beds in each corner, and Tony is freaking out because he couldn't find a mirror, but finds it in the outhouse. Oh, Jesus Christ, this generation. And the biggest threat of the game is the Eagles, which according to the Wolves. Which, sure, it's day 1. Yeah, everyone goes to the fire pit at night time, has marshmallows. Then we get someone talking on the speaker, and it's time for elimination. There is a wheel, and the first spin will happen tomorrow. Ooh, still in episode 1. And now Wolves are 1, and Eagles no. So all 4 names are on the wheel. But Wolves have to pick 3 campmates to face a punishment, and whoever wins that, doesn't put their name on the wheel, the other 2 does. And the punishment is wall sitting, or wall sit. Based against a tree, arms out, blah blah blah. Lexi gets out in 2 minutes. Gaio gets out in 3 minutes. Avery wins it. Goes out to 3. A little bit of spoiler, but yeah. But we also get Tony talking to Lorenzo saying we should vote in Lexi, because there is a voting system after the punishment where you got to vote someone, and the names will also go on the wheel. So the next day, everyone gets to voting, and then we have to go to the wheel. The host Taylor tells one by one to step forward. Shubham gets none. Lorenzo gets no votes. Cutie, Jai, and Georgia gets no votes. Lexi steps forward. She already has 2. Now she has 5. Tony, when that happened, he was trying not to laugh. He was like this, and like smiling and everything. We know the villain. Avery steps forward with Tony, and Tony only stays with the 1. Avery, on the other hand, started with 0, ended up having 7, and now Taylor spins the wheel, and we have to wait for episode 2. Okay, we have to wait for episode 2, so I'm going to watch it now. But I also want to find out, everyone thinks Tony is dumb and just a musclehead. He's playing a strategy game, so he's the MVP of this episode. Also, him and Luis bonding, or alpha male type shit. He's a big threat. Tony and Luis are like, how much can you bench? And Tony can bench 4 plates, meaning 180 kg, 396 pounds. And, bruv, that is impressive. He also has a crush on Gabby. We get back where we left off. The spin of the wheel. The first person to go home, the first out of Battle Camp Season 1 is Lexi. And as I am just like Tony, I am happy, I was smiling, and I was laughing. Anyway, episode 2, Taylor lets us know that the next challenge will find out who's joining Team Eagles. Woo! And at the camp, Bear just proved their loyalty, that they didn't vote anyone off their team, or didn't blindside anyone. Now the team, Wolves, just realised they made Eagles stronger. Tony comes in the room laughing, looking like a villain, and pretty much saying we got the weakest link. I know it's bad to say it, but it's true. But we find out the new team member for Eagles. It is Polly, not from Jersey Shore. It is from Cecily, the OC. She enters the Eagles room. They're all happy to see her and realize that she and Gio were on the same show, and they are like family. And Tony in the confession room saying he is happy to have her, She is just like the girl version of himself with a rocking body, which, I don't know, I think he loves himself too much. We get to the challenge, but before we do, there was a speaker. One member of each team has to self-nominate for a special role. QT wants to go up for Bears, and for Wolves, Irina was like, I can go, but I don't feel confident, so Trey goes up there, and then Georgia goes for Eagles. Here's a heights challenge called the drop, where each team takes some turns with standing on a plank. The person who gets asked the question and falls and has the flag with them gets 1 point. If they get dropped without the flag, it's incorrect. And the first team is Team Blue. Shoebomb is Getter Heights. He's holding flag, and the one holding the flag is Avery. The first question is who of the teammates has the biggest ego. They choose Geo, which is correct. Next up is Eagles, and Tony is hates heights. Tony gets given the flag, gets that point. Lastly is the Wolves. Lewis says it's him, but gives it to Irina, getting it incorrect. In round 2, the question is who's the biggest game player. Blue is up first. Avery is holding flag and gets the point. Wolves is next. Lewis is holding flag to getting the point for Wolves. And then red team, aka Eagles, Tony is holding the flag, getting another point. Round 3, which of the teammates is most attractive? For Blue, Gio holds it, gets in play, is holding the flag, getting no point. It was Avery. Yellow team, Lewis is holding the flag. He thinks it's Gabby, so does Tony, but Lewis is holding it, and Gabby falls, getting it incorrect. Tony is telling him to give him the flag to Lorenzo, and Lorenzo falls. Tony getting no point, and getting the punch in the gut saying he's not attractive. Next question is, and who is the best ally? Yellow says Lewis, but gives it to Gabby. Lewis falls. Blue, Avery is holding the flag, gives it to Shoebomb, gets the ride. And he hates every moment of it. He hates heights. He was crying. It was a little bit of struggle. Eagles, if they get it right, they have to go for a tiebreaker. But Tony, they give it to Tony. Sorry, she picks Tony because he has an ego. Tony falls, but Lorenzo is holding the flag, watching the Bears get a W. The Wolves is in last place. All their names will be on the wheel, and Irina let them down with the ego question. Pretty much that's what Lewis thinks. Back at camp, Irina is disappointed, and Lewis is as well, because she second guesses herself. Georgia feels bad for Lorenzo and says that he is the most attractive. Still punching the gut for Tony. But when they're eating, Georgia says, to Tony, to pretty much saying, no, sorry, not Georgia. Irina says to Tony, maybe she was mistaking ally for enemy, making a little bit awkward around the scene, around the area. But next day we get the punishment, and it's an ice bath. So pretty much the longest one stays in wins, but if they have 5 minutes, they have to dunk their head in and hold their breath. All of them pass the 5 minutes. The 2 losers who end up on wheel is, first one to get it is Irina after 40 seconds of holding the breath. Then Lorenzo after 1 minute 40 of holding the breath, which is pretty fucking good to be fair. But Georgia, wins. Meaning Lorenzo is on board, Irina is on there twice. The camp is targeting Irina, but Georgia wants to vote. Tony just won just to humble him. And pretty much all the yellow team is saying, oh yeah, we will vote for Tony or Paulie, or because she's new. And yeah, they lied. So at the elimination wheel, Everyone steps forward. Lorenzo, none except for 1 vote. Poli's, no votes. Lewis, no vote. Gabby, no vote. And now Tony gets 1 vote. Irina and Gabby and Georgia is next to each other. Georgia, clear. Irina, realize she's out with 11 votes. As she is the second one going home, she is crying. Now I'm going to watch episode 3. Episode 3, we get back from the elimination. Tony goes through the wolf saying, "Don't beat yourself up. Don't want to see you guys down, especially my girlfriend Gabby." And Lewis asks Gabby, "Do you think Tony looks good?" She says, "In a way, sure." It's the romance we'll find out later this episode. The new teammate for the Wolves is Bree from Too Hot to Handle season 6, same as Louis. Louis will be happy because he said he wants a girl with a nice bunda, and she does. Let's be real. They're making eyes with each other, flirting with each other this entire episode. Later in the night, they share a bed, cuddling, kissing. You know what to do. But for this episode is in challenge. It's called Mask the Misery, where one member of the team will be tortured. Others have to fake, and if the 2 teams guess the right one who gets tortured, they get a point. If not, the team who is getting tortured gets a point. The first one is electric shock, and that's the Wolves. And both teams go for Gabby, but it's actually Louis. And that means Yellow gets 2 points. And then the next one is for the Bear team, where they have to drink moldy milkshake. And they both guess... Oh, sorry, this is the Red team. They go Eagles drink moldy milkshake. And both teams go for Lorenzo. And it is Tony. They get 2 points. And now it's Blue team. They have to chop some onions. The rest are chopping apples. Both guess Shoe Bum. It was QT. Both team 2 points. Wolves is up next. And 3 sitting on a chair. 1 is sitting in air. And the 1 is not on the chair. It is Trey. The Bears get it. The Eagles don't. Meaning Blue and Yellow get a 1 point each. Eagles next, they have like a box they have to lift. It's heavy. Both teams get it wrong, which means Red gets 2. And now it's Blue's turn, and one has to eat spicy hot dog. And the one who has it is Shoe Bum, but the other teams go for Gaio, meaning the Blue team has immunity again, and Wolves are lost again. Back at camp, everyone realized Team Bear is a big threat, as they haven't lost yet, and Yellow's names are back on the wheel. Louis and Bree are flirting again, and everyone can see it. But the next day, punishment is called Full Throttle. Not a wrestling company, but it's where in 1 hour you have to do as many steps as you can. And even though Guy doesn't know, it is Paulie, it is Bree and Gabby. They do steps for 1 hour. The rest are just chilling out. Gabby wins. Me, Bree and Paulie are on the board. And we get Louise and Tony talking. Do you think Gabby's actually into me? Blah blah blah. They flirt, which Gabby probably didn't tell anyone that she has a boyfriend. We found that in the confessions room. And kind of feel bad for Tony, I'm not gonna lie. But with all this saying, everyone voted, and we don't know. We have to wait until episode 4. So I'm gonna watch episode 4. And MVP for episode 2 is Louise. This one, Gabby. So, yeah. See you in episode 4. We get to the wheel and find out who the next one is eliminated. And Gabby comes up first, saying no votes except that one vote for the team. So Lewis and Bree gets 2 more votes on the wheel, except with Paulie. She gets 3 votes, only 5 spaces left. Trinity is stepped forward and he gets 4 votes. The last spot on the wheel is for Trey. As Taylor, the host, spins the wheel, one will be leaving, and it is Gabby with 1 vote. And low-key happy because she did betray Tony, but Tony is crying since she doesn't know that she voted for him. Back at camp, Tony just walks to the bathroom crying as Avery and QT is there supporting him, hugging him, like saying what's up. And then he says it should have been him, not her. Then Louis in their room crashes out, saying, oh, I need a break, I need a minute, whatever. Tony's still upset, crying in the bathroom. Goes to the bedroom. Polly's saying, why are you getting emotional about this? And Tony calls Polly a clown and just storms out. And then she says, I should be treated like this, but you said something you know would hurt him, so stop playing the victim. Like, I really hope she gets out. She's a fucking vile human. Anyway, the next teammate for the Wolves is Morgan from Cheer Season 2. Same season as Gabby. And at the breakfast table, everyone's there except Tony. And before the challenge, he pretty much says, I'm leaving. There's not a good environment where he gets mad and doesn't trust his teammates and not in control of anything. Tony sadly left. He quit, meaning there's 3 foot of red. But not for long, because Nick from Circle Season 3, Perfect Match Season 1, is here for Red Team. It's called pole position, where one member has to balance on poles and hang on the poles, while the other teams with a play pretty much cornhole, get into the circle of their colour, one of the pole poles. There's 2 rounds, 1 round for immunity, 2nd round for not to be on the wheel. Round 1, everyone targets Eagles, giving Bears a easy win. In round 2, it's Wolves versus Eagles. It's Nick versus Louis, and they pretty much start alright with both of them, but then Eagles just go boom, 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 get 4 poles down. The Wolves got 1 down, and Louis is just using his up strength already. He goes from the other side, doing monkey bars, gets this thing, and Hugo and Morgan gets it in. So does Georgia, as Louis just hangs there struggling, then drops, making Wolves last again and put their names on a wheel. Just mostly because of Trey missing every shot. The Team Bears make a secret alliance with Louis and Trey, bringing them in the bedroom, saying we should have a 6-person alliance, and it's good for whatever. Trey and Louis the next morning speak. It's like, if it's an odds game, if it's a numbers game, they can get us out easily. And what did they do for punishment? They put Trey in against Nick and Morgan. The whole punishment is hold a plate like this with drinks. You can switch once. Longest stay wins. Morgan, actually they all did really well. Morgan lasts 16 minutes before she drops it, and around the 30-minute mark, Trey just tilts it and swaps it. Nick didn't switch his hand once at all, but Trey and Morgan has their names twice now. For the first time ever, there's all Wolves on the wheel. And Trey goes around camp trying to save himself. Goes for shoe bomb saying, "You're not gonna vote me, right? He's safe." Nick says, "Well, you could just trim the fat on your team, and we could do it on my team, and we could destroy." So pretty much Nick is telling that he is safe. And then he talks to Paulie. He's going to say, Paulie says, "Are you going to vote me?" Paulie says, "It's between you and Louis." She says, "If you want, I can vote Louis." Trey says, "Sure." He is throwing his best friend under the bus. And Paulie says, "You better remember this convo." And he says he will. But it ends there. We'll go to episode 5. But before that, I'm gonna sleep. But it's almost midnight, so like and subscribe. Going to bed. Episode 6 tomorrow. Peace. Episode 5, ladies and gentlemen, is here. And Paulie tells Gaia that what Trey told her, and he is shocked. And then we get to Bree. Says that he will wear Louis' jumper and he's happy and giddy. And later that night, Paulie tells Red Team what Trey said. And then Gio tells Blue Team what Trey said. So nobody trusts Trey anymore. But we have the and Taylor says, "You made it halfway." It spins, and well, it spins, but we need names on there before he does anything. So, as you know, Wolves will be on there. Brady will be on it twice. So with Trey, there are seven votes, and a lot go to Luis, and a few go to Bray, getting 2, but all of them spins, and it lands on Luis, and Trey is there. I'm sad that my friend's going. It's his fault. And you can see people in the background know it is. Bree is crying. And when Lewis goes to the room to pack, we find out there is a twist. Ooh. It is a double elimination, meaning another person's gonna go home. It spins, and it's like a movie. It's like a love story. Bree, you're going home too. She goes to the cabin. He says, "What are you doing here? Are you supposed to be here?" And she tells her it's a double elimination. Well, then very next day, Taylor gives them another twist. There will be no 3 teams anymore. It will be down to 2 teams. And to find out, there are 2 new players. And they will be the captains of Team Eagles and Team Bears. On the water, there is 2 new competitors. There is Chase from Too Hot to Handle Season 2 and The Perfect Match Season 2. We've got Kyle from The Circle Season 6, and they go in a tug of war. And Chase beats him. Chase gets the first pick of the draft. She picks Georgia. Carl picks QT. Georgia picks Lorenzo. QT picks Gaio. Lorenzo picks Nick because of it, he can be the shield of it. Gaio picks Avery. Nick picks Trey for the same thing as a shield. Avery picks Morgan as a shield. Trey picks Paulie as a shield. And Morgan picks Shubham because that's the last pick. So now it's Team Eagles, aka Red Team, versus Team Bears, aka Blue Team. And they have the first berry match, where the challenge is a spelling bee. So Chase pick all the physical people in the fast but Kyle picked out intelligent people look like, and they have to go on. One goes on a big inflatable. I would like to say inflatable bag or balloon. You know, when people jump on it, you go phew. Anyway, first up, it is Kyle versus Lorenzo, and they get the spell. If they spell it right, they don't get wet. But if they do, they go in the water. The team with the most points that wins. And there is no immunity this time, so anyone who loses, votes is in anyone's favour. So, Kyle gets the first word. Quill, incorrect. For Lorenzo, he gets the word knife and gets it correct. Kyle gets launch. Eagle is 1-0. It is now Chase and Morgan, and Chase was Ocean, gets it correct, getting a point. For Morgan is Steam, also getting correct. Now it's 2-1. Paulie vs Gyro, Friends vs Friends. Gyro's first is Vacancy, getting 1 point. Paulie gets Saboteur, getting incorrect, making it 2-2, getting launched high up, and I'm not gonna lie, it looked a bit scary. Next up is Avery in Georgia. In Georgia, word is ecstasy, getting it incorrect. And Avery's word, we'll find out next episode, because in her mind, over the monologue, she says, should I throw the game? Because I don't want to seem like I can do everything even though I can. And we have to find out in the next episode. So, enjoy part 2 of Battle Camp. Peace.